Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show tonight. Tonight's guest, we have a return guest, Dawood David Ing, from originally from San Francisco. He migrated to Stockton, but he's back in the Bay Area, and he's gonna come back on the show and he's gonna talk about what he's doing now, opposed to what he did when he left San Francisco and parole to Stockton, California. He's gotten married since then, and he's doing some other things in life. He brought a guest on the show tonight, so we're gonna talk and find out what's going on in the what is it? South Bay.
Town of Stockton.
Town of Stockton. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where? Yeah, Town of Stockton.
Yeah.
See what he's doing. He's doing some big things in Stockton. So we want to welcome him to the show. Welcome to the show, my brothers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice to be here.
Welcome back.
It's always good to see you, man. Mr.
Good to
Allen,
be
man.
seen, man. Good on this side of the fence.
That's right.
Yes.
Man. It's different,
Yes.
right? More
Big-
greener.
Yes, more
Yeah,
greener on the
not
side,
grayer.
yeah. Well, and again, I want to always reiterate,
Yeah.
and I always do to my guests, welcome home.
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah,
good to be
welcome
home.
How long you been home now, man?
I've been home 2 years, 3 months now.
2 years, 3 months.
That's right. Yeah.
Congratulations on your victory.
Yeah,
It's
appreciate
a
it.
victory.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And
Congrats.
you have a guest that you brought on,
I do, man. This is my good friend, Ben Sanchez.
Ben Sanchez.
Yeah, he
Is
does.
Is he like a celly to you?
Well, you know, he's like a good friend.
Good friend.
A well-trusted friend.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
We need that around.
Yeah, exactly. He's way different from the friends
Yes,
inside
yeah.
that we knew.
You got a soup?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Ben is what now?
Well, you know, Ben, he does many great things. He has his own radio program
Okay,
over there,
okay.
right? And that he volunteers. And what he pushes is entrepreneurship.
Okay.
He does outreach, you
Okay.
know. He does a lot of volunteer work for
Well,
the
let's-
city of
let's-
Stockton.
Okay, well, let's let Ben do that.
Exactly.
Ben, welcome to the show, Ben. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to have. Nice to be here.
Good. Nice to have you in the studio.
Yeah.
Now, I was allowing Dawood to speak for you to tell me what you do, but I want you to speak for yourself and tell the audience what you do.
Well, I am from Stockton. I was local. Been there all my life. Attended UOP. Graduated with a bachelor's. I had an opportunity to go back for a graduate program. Graduated with a master's in communication and public relations. Decided to stay in Stockton. I mean, I could have went to different places. I could have come out to the Bay to work. I could have went to Sacramento.
Sure.
Decided to stay in my hometown. Obviously, difficult to find work in what I do, but I've done a lot of volunteer work since I've graduated in 2015. I sit on the board of the Asian Chamber in Stockton. It's kind of a mid-sized chamber for the Central Valley, but we're growing. We're doing a lot of great things down there. Our whole goal is to push the economic growth in Stockton. I've worked with a lot of startups and entrepreneurs, and so I decided to work with a community radio station, it's KXVS Radio, and what they do is they have a lot of different programs, all community-based. Everyone that has a show there is from the community, part of the community. We create something, so I decided to create an entrepreneur show for, the small startups and the small businesses that are in the community that people should know about and tell their story.
Okay, great. That's great. Doing great work.
Yeah.
You latching on to things, man. That's
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
That's good. See, they say when we come on, we latch on to other things. That's not doing things in the community. That's not progressing. But you're doing things that's making a difference.
Right.
And that's great, man. Keep on doing what you're doing. We got my sister over there. Come on, yes. Welcome
Yes.
back to the show.
Thank you.
Always glad to have you.
Yes, it's a blessing to be here.
Yeah, you
I
still-
always liked your studio.
This is a nice place, fun place to be.
Yes.
I like sitting in there talking to the returned citizens, I call, because we went away and we came back with something. And a lot of people come back with nothing. We come back with something to give back to the community. And David came home, who came home, and he met a beautiful lady, and you did something great. You married her.
Yes. I did.
What is
I
that
did.
like?
Oh, that was respectful. And church also. So it wasn't like we eloped and went to,
the mosque.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we do both
Same
of them
thing.
though. We do
Exactly.
both of them.
Yeah, as a church. It was,
We do.
That's great.
We
Right.
don't discriminate.
Not at all. Not at all. Now, how is he doing now?
you know what, David is doing really good. He's puts himself out there. That's how he met me. He met me through somebody. I did see him at a Life for Life documentary. And but I didn't pay attention, I was with some people. But later on, David got a hold of me and said, "Hey, I heard you do community work." But I didn't get what he was talking about at first, community work. I'm like, no, I'm just a common person, average person that's involved in my community and know how important it is, because I do work with families that are disadvantaged. So I try to get resources for my families, and at the same time show an example for the students that I work with, that you need to get involved. You need to get involved, and it helps with their growth, their development growth. It can open avenues for opportunity, and also too for our students that are promising, meaning like disadvantaged in ways where they're acting out, maybe looking the roads going down to incarceration, kind of like pull them back in, because when you volunteer, it gives you a feeling, a sense of belonging.
Right.
So sometimes I try to encourage youth that are having problems to get involved. Encourage them, but find what they like. Not just say come and volunteer.
Right.
Make it a little party. Make it a little something interesting. Yes. Oh well, I met David. He was like, "Hey, can you help me in the community getting involved?" And I'm like, "Are you serious?" But he was.
He was serious.
He was serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. He likes it.
Yeah, I like her, was also paying close attention to what she was doing, because I had a vision and I knew that I wanted to do something, right, to give back, but I just didn't know how. You know what I mean? So you have to ask some kind of questions. What are you doing? Can you point me to the right direction? And that's how I became close with Ben, because Ben had a lot of education under his belt. He's done things. He had a lot of experience, right? And he never denied me whenever I, asked him, okay, well, why do you do this? Could you show me this on the computer? You know what I mean? It's about, if you have the patience, right? And it's about the education. So because this education that we receive, we're going to have to show someone else
Sure,
ourselves,
gotta pass it on.
right? But he was always patient, and I can always call on him, and count on him, and he was always there for me. If I ever get stuck, you know what I mean, he would, enlighten me, And that's why,
Yeah.
and he would open up and share, and call me up and say, hey, they're going to throw this event. You want to come out here?
Yeah.
Participate. And,
Contribute.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Like a sponsor.
Exactly.
Well, we got people in our neighborhood that we live in that they, like Ben, he went to school, got an education, got degrees, whatever.
Right.
And a lot of people get that and they move on.
Yeah.
They go somewhere else. Leave their neighborhood and go somewhere else. You stay in your neighborhood, right? And you're like a person that you have knowledge. In the times that I came up in the pimp and the hustlers and the players days, whatever. And we was always told that game is to be sold, not to be told. Which was a lie. If you gain something, you're
Yeah.
supposed to give it away.
That's right.
Because if you die with it, you'll be punished for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're taking it with you, you're not passing it on. So Ben is the type of person that you've got knowledge and you pay for your knowledge. You went to school, you pay for it, and you
Still paying
passing
for
it
it.
on. You're still paying for it, right? Right.
Yeah.
And you went to school and you're passing it on, and that's a great thing because you're going to be rewarded for what you're doing. You're doing work in your community. You haven't left.
Right.
So that's a great thing. You continue to do the work that you do in your community, because the only person that can change your community is us. The only one that can change it.
Right. And of course, when I met David, I was unfamiliar with that kind of life, the incarcerated life, and then I didn't know too many people. And, for me to sit down and learn his story, for me to kind of flip through those pages it's incredible. And, it's very difficult to read at times, but it's something that he went through. And I'm the type of person, as a journalist, you got to learn both sides of the story,
Sure,
right?
sure.
You've got to look at everything. And I think, some of the agencies we worked for, there's a stigma that's there.
Sure.
And of course, a lot of people look at things a certain way, but, with anything, that's how I learned, when I was, in graduate school doing the research. You've got the quantitative side with all the numbers, and you've got the qualitative side where you sit down and talk with people, and you learn through focus groups, or you learn through interviews, and you ask the right questions and you build on that. And I think that's really the most important thing, is trying to help him acclimate back into society, in our community that, he grew up in, but also for him to share the story with other people that are struggling with similar things, or down the road may be struggling with someone that they know, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now my sister over here, she's an educator as well. Yeah,
she is.
she's an educator as well
Yeah.
because you have the knowledge that you have, and then you grab onto another piece, which is David, which has a different type of knowledge.
Yes.
I met David in Pelican Bay. We was in Pelican Bay. We was on one of the worst prisons in the state of California.
That's right.
You know, and it was rock and roll at that time, right? And I met Dawood in, was it Old Folsom or Pelican Bay? What let me check.
It was both. I was in Old Folsom and Pelican Bay,
Okay, but
but
I-
it was Pelican Bay because
okay.
we were neighbors.
We went back to Old Folsom.
That's right.
But we met in Pelican Bay, and it was, like I said, we met at a time where you didn't know. You didn't know what's going to happen tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So we had to survive, and we went through that transition and made it back to the world, which I call the world is another prison, level 3 lower, back to the world. We survived it, right? And everything that I say, I use this on a regular. Everything in creation happens for a reason. Everything, you know, the flower blooms and it dies and goes to the ground, and the bird comes and whatever. Everything happens for a reason. Everything is passed on, right? And we were taken from that environment, level 5 prison, and brought back down to level 4, level 3, to level 2, and out. So we went into a cesspool, and we lived in before going to prison. And then we went to hell. They sent us straight to hell, to the worst prison in the state of California. And we saw everything unnatural to see. And then it took us and sent us back to the world, level 2, level 3, and then sent us back to society, our community. And they said, what are you gonna do with your life now? You've been in the cesspool, you've been to hell, you've been back to the world, which is a level 3 prison, and you went back to your community. So what are you gonna do now? You've been given a choice, right? So we was given a choice, either to be part of this world in a right way, or to be part of this world in a wrong way and go back into the cesspool,
That's right.
right? And then go back to hell. But we chose this because this has meaning.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's man-made. That's something they put together for people to stay for the rest of their life. But God didn't create us for that. God created us for this, to be here and pass on the knowledge that we've gained in hell, and take the knowledge that we got from hell and bring back to our community and let people in our community know that you don't want none of that.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
you
true.
don't.
Yeah.
You don't want none of that.
No. you might think about it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
if you do, you better immediately erase it from
Exactly.
your mind.
Because it's not guaranteed that you're gonna make it back.
That's right.
You know, and we got people that we know
Right.
that ain't never coming home.
Right.
Life without the possibility
Yeah.
of parole.
And we've seen them dying there as
Yeah.
well.
On a
You know?
regular.
Yeah, on the
They
regular.
they'll never see the beach. They'll never see Stockton. They'll never see.
That's right.
They'll never see none of this other than on TV.
That's right.
Right?
They'll
And,
never
and,
ever.
and I do what I do. I go down to the beach sometimes and take my shoes off and socks off and walk in the sand and walk in the water for them.
Right.
And when they call and say, "Ella, man, how you doing, man? I went to the beach for you today, man. You did what? I went to the beach for you. I went to the zoo.
They're like children.
Yeah, because they'll never do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do what we do for them.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important what I do, you know, to share.
It is.
You know,
It is very important.
because it's, you know, them coping skills, man, that we, you know, we didn't have at one time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We didn't have.
Yeah, but I had to learn them.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was going to come home one day.
Yeah.
Right. And we
Eventually,
all-
one day.
Eventually. Right. But we all lost hope in them,
Sure,
right?
sure,
Because
we
they
was all-
weren't giving no days to life.
At all. They wouldn't give none for
That's
two
right.
for two governors.
That's right.
Pete Wilson and Gray Davis. They wouldn't.
Exactly.
They had
None.
a blanket.
Right.
Only way you going home is in a box,
That's right.
a
Right.
pine box.
And
for
we
two
accepted
governors.
that.
We accepted it.
Yeah. And this is our
It
life
was law.
right here.
Yeah, it was law.
But now things change. So you have to find a way.
You have
Right?
to.
Because this is something I don't want to return to.
Right. No.
Right? We have to protect ourselves. We have to educate ourselves.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly,
We have to
exactly.
dig deep.
Right.
Right? Face those fears that we never wanted to face,
Wanted to
man.
face. We have to
Because
face
it's an ugly thing.
Yes.
Right? So now I attach myself to like my people, like my wife, people like my friend here, Ben. Right? Because Ben has made it. Ben is educated.
Right.
Ben's gonna show me. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
his character sharpens character.
Sure.
Right? It's education. Because there's a lot of things I don't know, man. And I'm not scared to ask him questions, right?
Okay, you scared?
Right. So I call
He's
up Ben. Hey
not.
Ben, you know what's happening, man?
That's
you
right.
know, I don't.
He's
you know,
funny.
could you show me?
You call me sometime. Hey, Ella,
Yeah,
hey,
I
hey,
do.
let me check this
I
out.
do.
I listen now. Okay. And I give you that. It's, hey, thanks, man. Boop.
Yep.
Hey, well, that's all.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's good, man.
Yeah.
That's good. You know, you don't know until you ask, and then you know.
Yeah.
The most stupid question that ever is the one that's not answered.
Right. Exactly.
If
Yeah.
you can't answer, it's the stupid question
That's
that
right.
you don't answer.
Right. And it's only fear that prevents you from asking.
Right.
Gotta
Right.
ask.
That.
You have to ask the
And
question.
it's your ego.
Yeah.
And it's your ego that prevents you from asking.
And you come home, you got a beautiful wife. The wife is
Yeah.
you know, and when I see you guys, it's like the first time I met you, I had my foot in my mouth.
Yeah.
Right in the corner.
It happens.
Right in the corner, right? And I'm kind of saying, hey, that ain't her. That ain't her. And you said, I said, that ain't her. I said, Emily, shut up. And I'm kind of saying, that's not her. And she comes out and said, that's okay. I said, uh-oh. And I put my foot in my mouth, and we became cool.
Yeah.
We became cool because I didn't know.
Yes.
I thought that was your woman. That wasn't her. It was a different woman.
Which is understandable, you know.
Yeah, and you got a beautiful woman, man. She's 100% behind you. 100%.
Yeah.
Every time I see you guys are together, you're always smiling and laughing.
Right.
You know, ain't no bigger. I watch people. I watch people to see how they gonna act. And you guys are cool. You guys are cool. I like to see you guys together.
And when we do bicker, it's funny.
It is.
Yeah.
It is because she has a point and I have a point.
Because when he drives, some of
And-
you guys
yeah,
come out, haven't
yeah.
drove for years. Oh,
I think I got us to safety, right?
We're doing all right.
We're doing
We're
okay.
doing all right. We gotta make it back, but
Yeah.
we're doing good.
Yeah. We still got to make it
you're gonna
back.
kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. And
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, man.
I'm loving it. When I see, we got one brother that went back.
Yeah.
You heard about
No,
Yeah.
I heard a couple people. A few.
regenerated last sentence.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one that just got out, caught another murder, right?
Yeah, it's been out.
Yeah, he had a life sentence, came out, had some kind of conflict with his old lady, ended up, doing something to her, caught a life sentence. Yeah,
Yeah, we got a few that's come back. They can't do this.
yeah,
But I don't understand it, man. I really don't.
yeah.
This is
They-
great.
And
Yeah.
that's why I, wanted to know my triggers and,
You have to know them.
yeah,
Yes,
and
no.
coping skills, man. Because I don't want to act out and hurt another human being, man. I mean,
not-
it
no,
was
it's not
easy for me back then
Yeah.
because it was,
Yeah, that's what we did.
yeah, that's what we did. But no,
Yeah,
no,
unacceptable.
I won't violate nobody's rights from here on out.
Right.
I might think about it, but I ain't gonna act on
I
it.
was there.
Yeah.
I was there. But we got to chain up. It's, like chain the beast.
Exactly, man.
And the beast up. And the only person here to change is us.
Right.
Him shaking. Get you. That's the change that we hear.
Exactly.
And then you turn around and you go somewhere else.
Right.
And come back another day.
Right, because we got choices.
Yeah, I got
healthy
choices.
choices.
Great choices today.
Man, I love them
Life is
choices.
great.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I see Starbucks. I think, Mom, maybe I want to go to Starbucks.
You know what? That's what's fun for me because he's been gone for a long time. He hasn't ate a lot of different foods, so I have fun taking him over here, over there.
Yeah.
I told him it's gonna stop one day though. I'm just trying to have you catch up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Introduce.
Well, we had that conversation too, right? When I
Yeah.
was first talking with you, it's we were talking about Instagram and
Yeah.
PlayStation and Xbox and
That's
things
right.
like that.
I
You're
didn't
like,
even know what an Xbox was.
what is that?
What is
it?
And I said, oh, well, yeah, Microsoft made a little video game system, but he doesn't know any about this
And he
tech.
kind of laughed and looked at me like, you
Yeah,
gotta
all
be
this
kidding me.
technology that's happening, and it's like
Yeah.
you don't think about those things when you talk to people.
Yeah.
You're like you were away for such a long time.
Yeah.
Time
you
warp.
you forgot all this technology happened.
Mhm.
You know, and now
Sure did.
now you got to not only have you learned so much in there, but now you got to learn what's going
All
on
over,
here,
all over, yeah.
all over.
Yeah.
And then on Facebook, he adds people he didn't even know how they got on his
I
Facebook.
did the same thing. I
Like, you added her? No, I don't know how she got there or he got there.
You did it. You did it. Yeah, I got so many people on Facebook. Like, how'd he get there? You did it. You did the thing.
I laugh.
That's a trip. Yeah, I got so many people. That's crazy. But it's good, man. It's
Yeah,
good.
it
It's
is,
good
man.
seeing you, man.
Right. It's good
It's
seeing
always
you
good
too.
seeing you. When I don't see you, I think about you. And then I call. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
Man?
you do.
Yeah, how you doing?
You
You
do
doing all right?
follow-ups.
Always.
Yeah, that's
Does he walk on the beach for you too?
No,
when
only
he
for
don't
the one that can't get out.
Oh, okay.
One
Yeah.
that's- the one
Well,
that-
you got to start doing that, right, David?
Exactly.
Yeah,
start
you
walking
gotta
on
do
the
it. You gotta do it. That's what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they ain't gonna do it. I go to the zoo, look at the animals locked inside the little places that they can't get out.
Right.
And I think about the guys, man. Gilbert just got a date the other day. He got a date of 38 years in prison.
Wow.
He went to prison when he was 17 years old, right? 17 years old. Then he went inside. Then he got recruited, right? Then some things went on for years, And they held him in prison for that, not for what he went to prison for. Right? He went to prison. Nobody was dead. Nobody. It was a kidnap. He went to prison at 38 years. But after he got in prison, he got caught up, got hooked up, and they kept him in prison for what he did while he was in prison.
That's right.
And they told him, boy,
That's right.
he said, we commend you. He said, you did a complete change. He said, you worked for this.
Yeah.
You put work in for 38 years. You changed people's life in prison. Because when he went to board, his family, they got tired of writing letters. They didn't even write letters.
Yeah. Support letters, right.
Right, his
They gave
wife,
up.
he got married
Yeah.
in prison. She left. Because she got tired writing letters and all this kind of stuff. She got tired. You get tired.
Yeah.
And when he went to board, he didn't tell his family he was going.
Wow.
He didn't even tell them he was going. So when he got his board date. He wrote his attorney and told him, hey, I want to put it off for 6 months. They sent it to Sacramento. Sacramento said no. So he got a letter back. Your board date is this date. We want you present. So when it came time for board, they said, I ain't going, man. They came to the unit and got him, and escorted him to the boardroom. So he went in the boardroom. He said, he went in the board. We sit there. You don't got nothing. Said, we got any support letters? No. You got this? No. Get the head down. He sit there. He said, well, you did all this time. He said, we went through your youth authority records, and we saw the picture when you came in, fragile little kid, 17 years old, and all the time that you did in prison, you got caught up in prison, and you did this. And she said, you came to prison innocent, and you was forced to do things that you didn't want to do. He said, that wasn't your fault. He said, then years passed, we see the change from 80 until now. That all the work that you did, you became the clerk for the Protestant Chapel. All these years you did work. He said, we got letters from people in prison, from staff in prison wrote letters to the board for you. This is what you get now. He said, you changed people in prison that work in prison's life. You changed staff's lives in prison. That's why we're going to find you suitable. They gave him the date, man, without any letters, no support from outside.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow,
Because
that's
you need
something.
them letters.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't we?
We had to
needed
have
them.
him.
You
We
have
had to have him.
Yeah.
But he had no letters, period, nothing. He just went by himself. Didn't want to go. I ain't going. He told him, put your shoulders up, put your head up. You see, work for this. He found you suitable. You got to be on a date. And after 30 years, he called me yesterday. He said, man, you won't believe this. So he told me, I said, what? He said, man, I've never seen him before. I went in there, man, just gave up. Went in there, my shoulders down, head down. He said, I didn't even look at the commissioners. I had my head down. I said, really? He said, when they started talking about dates, you find your suitable, he held he said, man, it was unbelievable.
That was your best friend too.
That's my best friend.
Yeah.
My best friend. He was a Southern Mexican. North and South, they don't get along. Plus blacks don't get along. It don't happen.
Yeah.
Not in
That's
prison.
unheard of.
of.
Yeah.
He was my best friend in prison. If I had a problem, I go to him and cry and talk to him. He come to me and cry. He lost his mother. I was there for him. You know, my mother was dying. She was there. Anything, something happened, we was there for each other. Go to our cell and just talk for hours. You know, I wouldn't want to go back to my cell. He wouldn't want to go back to the cell. And they used to look at us like, motherfuckers. They couldn't do nothing. They wanted to hit him, couldn't do nothing. You know, they want to do something to me, couldn't do nothing. That was my partner.
Yeah.
Do something to him, you got to do it to me, do something to me. And if you mess with me, you got the Muslims.
Yeah.
You really don't want it this. Really don't want it this.
Yeah.
And he was safe because the Muslim had him. You know, he was my best friend in prison. He coming home. He said, man, when I come home, we got to get together. That definitely. I'm buying clothes. I'm going to buy him.
Oh, yeah.
My partner, I might give him a Porsche.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's my partner. I might give it to him.
Wow.
Yeah. That's my partner. But he coming home. He'll be home by November. He'll be home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm going to pick
good.
him up. I'm going to pick him up, yeah. I might give him the Porsche.
That's right.
Yeah.
That'd be a gift.
Yeah.
real.
He deserved 38 years.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He made it home. They let him go from the family. They let him go.
Yeah. Might take him some time to learn how to drive it.
Oh,
But
Yeah, because he didn't
yes.
know how to drive when he went in. Whoa, yeah, I got to wait on that.
Hold on.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Right.
Yeah.
We'll do a talk show on that, okay?
Talk about that.
I'll talk about the
Wow,
driving.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I didn't think about that.
I was just thinking about, okay, there's that little Porsche. You can see it wrapped around something right now.
Yeah. But anyway, hey, look, I'm glad you guys came. Came from Stockton. You know, you're supposed to be at one, but it's okay.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it again.
Time
Yeah.
management.
Yeah,
Time management.
I'm learning that.
Yeah.
I'm learning
Yes,
that. You know
yes.
that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right, man.
But
Means
we're gonna
everything.
get it together. You guys can come back.
Yeah.
You know, we like to have you back on the show.
Yeah, yeah,
Come back on the show and talk about you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got some things that people need to hear. And I want to invite you to our support circle. I have once a month in Oakland at Oak Stop
Yeah.
in Oakland. And I want to invite you to come out and take part in the support circle.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, I work for Talif Collective.
Yeah.
This is behind the-
Oh,
the
it's
pen.
beautiful over there.
Talif
Oh, you
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah?
love it.
In Fremont, yeah.
Oh,
Very
okay.
diverse.
And I
so you
run the
like it.
reentry program, bringing in formerly incarcerated women and men home from prison. And we have a program where we give certain things for them to have a smooth transition. We give them little money, you know, some leeway to go to get the license, whatever we can do to help them come home. Because when you leave prison, you get $200 gate money. That's it.
That's it, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it's already gone before you even hit the
Yeah,
station.
yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
buy your bus ticket. You got to pay for that out of $200. You got to
Yeah.
go to McDonald's or
Yeah.
whatever, Burger King, and get something to eat because you want to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and some
then-
people coming home, right, ain't got no family
We
support,
have no family.
right? So you have to buy dress outs, and they're
Exactly.
gonna charge
You gotta buy dress. I
There
didn't
you
think
go,
about that.
right?
You got to buy dress up.
You gotta buy.
Whoa,
Come on, there goes your
whoa,
money.
That's your money.
In fact, you owe us.
That's right. That's right. I didn't think about
Yeah,
that. You
you
got to buy
had
dress
$200
out.
now. You owe us
You got to
some
buy
money.
your ticket. Wow,
That's right.
That's $100-something there.
Man, come on.
Then you got to get a room tonight.
And some get to catch a train and then wear their sweat clothes,
Yeah,
whatever they came
that's
out in prison.
Yeah, sweat
Yeah.
clothes. That's what they give you, sweat
Yeah.
clothes.
$200,
Oh, I didn't
yeah.
think about that.
Yeah, that's for
So when
sure.
you get home, you got less than $100.
you got
Yeah. Then you got to get a room tonight, and that's
yeah.
Hopefully
tomorrow
someone's waiting for you at the train station.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if not, you're on your own.
Yeah.
You know, and you coming out for 20 and 30 years, you got everything for them.
Yeah.
You know, so, wow, I didn't think about that. Wow, it's another dilemma. So yeah, so we, that's what we're doing at Talif. You know, we have every Sunday night, we have 2 programs. We have a Molak, which we sit around and we sing and we talk about Quran and we talk about what we're doing, and then we have the sisters come out and they grab her and they take her somewhere and they treat her real good. And you know,
Yeah, they
things
treat-
like that.
yeah, they treat
Yeah, they're understanding.
Yeah.
Their support group
And
is
they're
really
educated.
understanding. They're for the
Yeah.
women that been out here. Meaning, you don't know, not to gang up on the guys, but hey, wait a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
She's been taking care of business
Exactly. All
out
these
here
years.
and in there.
That's right.
Gi-
right.
but giving
So
her
they
some-
come and
yeah.
take the women and they treat them well and we just, that's what we do. That's what we do, you know. And it's not about the color, it's not where you're from.
Family.
It's that you're a person that want to be a part of something that's different. You know, be a part of something that makes it different in
It's a
life.
positive,
Right.
right?
Different in life. So that's what we do. And that's what I came home. I was home like 2 weeks. 2 weeks from prison. The person that hired me used to be the chaplain in prison, and he retired and came home and started an organization. And I came home and brought my organization that I started in prison home and started out here.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I do. You know? Yeah. So yeah.
And maybe you can go on his radio show too, as well.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
you know, and
But anyway, so we gonna have to end. Our time is up. So we want to bring you guys back.
Yeah.
And do this again.
Okay.
So thank you for
Good.
coming to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you.
yeah.
See, Stockton,